All right, so it's my honor to introduce the winner of the annual Literacy Leaders Award. We, the School of Library and Information Science and the College of Information and Communication, started the All Awards 12 years ago. We started it to thank the men and women that helped us get the Augusta Baker Chair Endowment. And that was no little task. It was a huge endowment from the legislature, and we gave the award to Dan Barron, Gilda Cobb Hunter, Lonnie Littlejohn, and Todd Stevens, who were our heroes then and are still working to improve literacy in our state. Hi, Travis. I didn't get to see you earlier. This year's recipient is no less a luminary and has worked tirelessly to improve both literacy and access to health information across South Carolina. Mrs. Patricia Moore Pastides is a power to admire, and it has been a wonderful experience to watch her move mountains. Seriously, when she's on a mission, you either stand back or you join her. Only choices I know. As a true friend of our school and college and our South Carolina Center for Community Literacy, she's been involved with many of our Cocky's Reading Express CRE activities. Just to mention a few, Patricia Moore Pastides was instrumental in helping CRE obtain its largest grant funds to date. She wrote letters of support for both the Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy and the Central Carolina Community Foundation grant for CRE's partnership with the Arnold School of Public Health, another of her passions. She was a special guest and presenter at several family literacy events around the state. She provided healthy cooking demonstrations for families and signed many copies of her book, The Greek Revival from the Garden. And everybody has told me that I look so good. I thought it was because I was retired, but I've actually been cooking out of her cookbook. So partnered with Tommy Preston, who couldn't be here with us tonight, she also helped create the relationship between the UofSC's Visitor Board, or Board of Visitors, and SCIL. The Board of Visitors invited the SCIL staff to present at each meeting and even participated in CRE events themselves, which is fabulous. It's like, get that board working, you know? She was instrumental in helping us celebrate CRE's 10th anniversary by promoting the event and attending Cocky Tales. If you missed Cocky Tales, the 10 years of Cocky's Reading Express, what a party. She has invited CRE and countless elementary students into her home each holiday season to celebrate her love of reading and gift each participant with brand new books. Now, this is one of Christine Sheelix, our director of SCIL. Christine is right there. It's one of her favorite events, and she told me personally that it's going to be the one that she misses the most. Oh, and by the way, in her spare time, she's written 3 books, you know, just and all the proceeds go to the university. Her most recent book, which I just got and absolutely adore, is At Home in the Heart of the Horseshoe. It's a fascinating look at the President's House, a historic landmark in the center of the university's original campus. Her previous works are Greek Revival, as I said, and then Greek Revival from the Garden, about how to grow things that are better choices in your health diet. Overall, Mrs. Patricia Moore Pastides has been a great asset in the fight against illiteracy in South Carolina. We appreciate all she's done for the children of our state. We couldn't have asked for a better First Lady, and here she is.
I have to say that compared to the other people who have won this award, I really feel unworthy. But I thank you for your generosity, and I really do care whether or not people can read. I talked about this at one of the first awards that I came to, just remembering my mom sitting with us, 4 children, and we would each take a page and read a book together. And, each of us was different. My older brother had like really quick reading skills, partly because he read the encyclopedias. And my middle brother had slower reading skills and didn't really pick up reading until he was so interested in the sports pages that he decided that was worth learning how to read for. But, that was then. Now I have grandchildren, one who's 7 and one who's 5. And the 7-year-old is all about her chapter books. And the 5-year-old, because she wants to follow suit, is starting to sound out. And it's a great thing to see. And now when I go home to Connecticut and I see my mom, who's in her 90th year and has shifted from physical books to books on tape, and when I get there she wants me to take her to the library right away so we can return those and get some new ones. It makes you realize how rich our life is because of literature. And while my books, I do have books, but they've been more oriented towards public health or a little bit of history, my hope in retirement is to actually give you some juicy fiction. So one of the things that Harris and I plan to do is take a 2-month sabbatical next spring. We've rented a home on the Dingle Peninsula on the west coast of Ireland for March and April. And it's going to be cold, but we have a little peat fireplace. And it's a great place for hiking. And I plan to write, and I feel like it's probably in my old Irish genes somewhere that I have to go there and write. And I was just saying to Fred, after 11 years in the presidency, dealing with all the constituents of the university, I've got a lot of material. So he said he's going to read with care whatever I put out to see if he recognizes anybody. But I can't thank you enough. And this is going to go right up on the shelf in my home office, and I'm going to be ever proud of it. And I thank you all for your support. I do love Cocky's Reading Express, and I'll just take another second to tell you the funniest story when we had a class come at the holiday time. So I've been out to the schools also, but we try to bring one student group to the president's house at holiday time because the house is really highly decorated and it's so beautiful. So 2 funny stories about that. One little girl from St. Martin de Porres, when she was leaving the house, said to me, "You know what, this is the kind of house I want to live in when I grow up." And one of her teachers said, "Well, you'll have to marry the university president." And I stopped her and I said, "But wait, if you continue to read, you may become the university president." Yes. And then I had another class come another year, and at that time that they were coming, we had bananas actually growing on our banana tree in the university greenhouse. And so after giving the children their books and having Cocky act out the stories and everything, I said, "I'd like for you to come out in the backyard with me because I have a special surprise in the greenhouse." So I gave them all a banana, and this little boy about 5 or 6 years old said to me, "Is that all we get? Books and bananas?" I said, "Well, yes." I said, "But what did you want?" And he said, "Well, Gamecock stuff." So I said, I took that to heart, and I rounded up some pencils and pendants and sent them over to the classroom. But from then on, I always made sure that we had some Gamecock stuff for the Cocky's Reading Express. And I will, wherever Christine is, I will certainly pass along to the next first spouse that it would be a good idea to continue having Cocky's Reading Express at least once a year when the house is so prettily decorated. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate this.
It's an honor to stand before you tonight and introduce the 2019 Beta Phi Mu initiates. At this time, I would like to ask the initiates to stand. Yes. The initiates have been declared eligible for membership in Beta Phi Mu by virtue of their superior scholastic records, their character, and their professional promise. They have been recommended by the University of South Carolina School of Library and Information Science for this recognition. We meet here today to honor those who have met the standards of scholarship in their professional school and whose records indicate they will contribute significantly to the development of library and information professions. The obligations of membership in our International Honor Society include a continuing interest in research, scholarship, and leadership. In an information society, we have a right to expect that the most talented professionals demonstrate a willingness to use their talents in service to that society. In accepting membership in Beta Phi Mu, you commit yourselves and your talents to the promotion of the best in scholarship and service. Our name, Beta Phi Mu, contains the initial letters for the Greek words which can be translated librarians or guardians of knowledge. However, our purpose is indicated by our insignia, the dolphin and anchor of the Venetian printer Aldus Manutius, whose small books of Greek and Latin classics provided the world of his day with greater access to information. He noted that he had made a vow to devote his life to public service. That service ideal has never been more important than it is in our present world. Our motto indicates that service to others is one of our major commitments. That service can and does assume many forms and occurs in many types of libraries and information agencies. Allied with scholarship, service can extend the boundaries of knowledge and teach information skills to help citizens cope with the future. We need your leadership, not only in creating knowledge, but also in promoting the usefulness of knowledge. An information society requires specially gifted persons to provide solutions not only for the technical, but also to the human problems. From you, we expect our future leaders to emerge. In Beta Phi Mu, we look forward to working with you in achieving our common goals. As the light is the ancient symbol of learning, Beta Phi Mu adopted it for our initiation ceremonies. Learning must overcome ignorance as light overcomes the darkness. We ask you to accept this symbol of our dedication to the spread of knowledge and understanding throughout the world. For we hold with Thomas Jefferson that no republic can be ignorant and be free. I now ask you to signify acceptance of these ideals by stepping forward as I call your name to receive your membership pin and certificate. The following nominees will be inducted in absentia. Catherine Casey Antonelli. She's an archives assistant at the University of Pennsylvania Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology. Emily Carol Avery. She is a park guide at the Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park in Tennessee. Margarita Demetriadis. She is a teen digital media lab librarian with the Enrico County Public Libraries in Virginia. She wants to acknowledge Drs. Gavigan and Copeland for their support. Ashley Jean Dover. She is a government documents librarian at the Kanawha County Public Library in West Virginia. She wants to acknowledge Drs. Copeland and Thompson for their support. Lissa Hillary. She's a technical services professional at the Williamsburg Regional Library. Suzanne Summers LaPierre. She's an information services librarian at Fairfax County Public Libraries in Virginia. Laura Sophia Sipsack. She's a reference librarian at the Library of Congress. Shambrika Teasley. She is a media specialist in Oconee County. And finally, present with us tonight is Joseph Eugene Mikolai. He's a library specialist at the UofSC Law Library. Congratulations to all of the initiates.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Hodiern and I am the current president of Lissa, which is the Library and Information Science Student Association and also the official ALA student chapter for SLIS. I'm honored to have served as a representative of Lissa this year and now to present the Carolyn Delton Service Award to two wonderful people. This award honors individuals who go above and beyond for our department. One of the best parts about this award, in my opinion, is that the current Lissa members and officers select the recipients of this award. As always, I am pleased with who they have chosen to recognize tonight. Our first recipient is Dr. Kawuya. Not only was Dr. Kawuya recently made a tenured associate professor, but he stepped up in a huge way, as many have mentioned, for SLIS. As most of you know, he's been serving as interim director while Dr. Lankeys was out. He has done a remarkable job in this role with assisting faculty and students in every way he could while serving as interim director. His commitment to our program is unmatched. His passion for information policy, law, and ethics is evident in any conversation you have with him. I've had the pleasure of having him as a teacher in addition to seeing him step into the interim director position. And I can tell you the passion he has for this field comes across both in and outside of the classroom. I know that any student of his can attest to this and have attested to this. So please come and accept this award. Our second recipient is someone we all know quite well. This recipient works very closely with the South Carolina Center for Community Literacy's Cocky's Reading Express. His commitment to promoting literacy is evident in his enthusiasm, dedication, and passion for Cocky's Reading Express. The positive energy that you feel when you encounter our next recipient is contagious. I don't think there's another person that could get thousands of children across the state of South Carolina to promise to read, because they are such a representation of the spirit of USC. This recipient is none other than Cocky.
So the Samantha K. Hastings Undergraduate Award for Services is our newest award. It recognizes exemplary services to not only SLIS, but the community at large by an undergraduate information science student. This year's award goes to Stephanie Doe. Stephanie exemplifies dedication and service in the classroom through internships and her commitment to community projects. She volunteers at the South Carolina Center for Community Literacy and Cocky's Reading Express. Whether she is implementing an organizational system for books or designing new CRE flyers, Stephanie's passion for her community can easily be seen throughout her work at Skill. She is one of the first to respond to calls for volunteers and has been an excellent advocate for the information science program. I have no doubt any community Stephanie is a part of will continue to benefit from her passion and commitment to service. Please join me in congratulating Stephanie Doe, this year's award.
First one is the Robert V. Williams Graduate Student Research Award, and this is to recognize excellence in SLIS student research. This year, we are recognizing the achievements of Travis Wagner. Travis is researching how people's lived experiences shape their perception of sexuality and gender. Specifically, Travis investigates the tension between representing someone else's lived experiences of sexuality and gender through the lens of their own experiences, in a way that may obscure alternate or non-normative identities. This sort of research is significantly important in our field because it shows the diversity that we have in the field of library and information science. So please help me to welcome and recognize Travis. Please, Travis, step forward. The next award is the John Osgood Distinguished Service Award, and this recognizes an individual who has made exceptional contributions to SLIS and its overall mission. This year, we recognize Tommy Preston. You probably heard about that in a few minutes. In 2005, Dean Charles Bilber asked a student government to come up with a student-led literacy program. Tommy took this request and created what would eventually become the Cocky's Reading Express. Tommy's program started with just 10 students reading to local school children during the holiday breaks. Since that time, Cocky's Reading Express has grown to become a statewide initiative embraced by the entire campus. CRE has visited every county in the state of South Carolina and given out over 130,000 books. And as you heard, Mrs. Pat Stidis has been part of that program. Tommy unfortunately cannot be here tonight. He's now the Director of the National Strategy and Engagement for Government Operations at the Boeing Company in North Charleston. and had a last-minute obligation, as you can imagine. I hope it has nothing to do with everything going on at Boeing. But please help me to recognize Tommy Preston and, of course, all the work he has done. The next award is the Genuine Distinguished Students Award. And this one is presented to a graduate student from the previous year. It is based on the entirety of the student's work, including GPA, quality of classroom participation, and their ability to integrate their knowledge from one class to the next. This year, we recognize Zipzak. I hope I got that right. Lara Zipzak. Lara completed her MLIS degree with a 4.0 GPA. That is a very remarkable achievement. It was a tough decision this year as we had a lot of great candidates, but Lara's ability to interact with students and faculty stood out in a positive way. Her ability to assimilate information and transfer what she has learned from one class to another was outstanding. Lara is unable to attend tonight's event ceremony, so because she's working as a librarian in Library of Congress, she's been unable to travel down. But please join me in recognizing this outstanding graduate, and we hope that she will continue to do great things in her career going forward. The next award is the Tifton M. Trafton Outstanding Student Award for Leadership. This one recognizes a student who promotes a sense of community here at SLIS through their schoolwork, professional participation, and involvement with student government, student organizations. This year, we honor April Hobbs. April has been an important part of SLIS since she first arrived on campus through her daily work as a graduate assistant. She has a special ability to brighten the day of other students, faculty, and staff through her interactions. While balancing life as an exemplary student, she has also partnered with faculty on their research and worked through Lissa student organization as their vice president. Please help me to congratulate April, and please step forward to receive your award. The William Summers Outstanding Alumni Award recognizes an individual who has made significant contribution to the school and whose career reflects the commitment to excellence and dedication to the advancement of the profession. This year, we honor Thomas Moloch. So, since Thomas earned his MLIS here, he continues to shine in the LIS community. He has worked as a teen service librarian at Richland Library and enriched countless lives, teen lives. He has recruited a number of people to seek their MLIS degree here at SLIS. In addition, Thomas is a co-host of the Secret Stacks podcast about comics and libraries and has written articles in public libraries, The Hub, Book Riot, and Library Trends. He has spoken at conferences from LA to Comic Cons to this May, and this May he will be closing keynote speaker at the Quebec Library Association Conference in Canada. Please help me in recognizing Thomas Moloch. Please, Thomas, step forward. The final award is not in your program, because if we did list this award and the recipient, we are sure that this person would not accept to be recognized in the way we want to recognize this person. as director or interim director, I was asked around this time last year. I was, an assistant professor, waiting to hear about my tenure decision. So 3 weeks later, after I was tenured, I was asked to step into the director position. As you can imagine, I had no idea what I was doing the first day on the job. So I've depended on our wonderful staff to help me figure out what I need to do from day one. And I can tell you that without the constant support of our staff, I would not be able to do this job. I think this can be said about all the staff in the school, in the college, and across the university. So, but this year, I would like to recognize my good friend and colleague, Mike Kobo.